At home, I continued to work on my own progress as a musician. Sitting at Roby's upright piano, I was quick to pick up the scales, and I threw myself into filling out the sight reading worksheets she gave me because we didn't have a piano of our own. I had to do my practicing downstairs on hers, waiting until nobody else was having a lesson, often dragging my mom with me to sit in the upholstered chair and listen to me play. I learned one song in the piano book and then another. I was probably no better than her other students, no less bubbling, but I was driven to succeed. To me, there was magic in their learning. I got a buzzy sort of satisfaction from it. For one thing, I picked up the simple, encouraging connection between how long I practiced and how much I achieved, and I sensed something in Robbie as well, too deeply buried to be outright pleasure, but still a pulse of something lighter and happier coming from her when I made it through a song without messing up. When my right hand picked out a melody while my left touched down on the chord, I noticed it out of the corner of my eye. Roby's lips would unpurse themselves just slightly. Her tapping finger would pick up a little bounce. This, it turns out, was our honeymoon pace. It's possible that we might have continued this way. Robbie and I been less curious and more respectful when it came to her piano method, but the lesson book was thick enough my progress on the opening few songs slow enough that I got impatient and started peeking ahead, and not just a few pages ahead, but deep into the book, checking out the titles of the more advanced songs and beginning during my practice sessions to fiddle around with playing them. When I proudly debuted one of my late in the book songs for Roby, she exploded slapping down my achievement with a vicious goodnight. I got chewed out the way I'd heard her chewing out plenty of students before me. All I'd done was try to learn more and faster. But Roby viewed it as a serious crime. She wasn't impressed, not even a little bit. I didn't care. I was the kind of kid who liked clear answers to my questions, who liked to reason things out to some logical if exhausting end. I was loyally and also veered toward dictatorial, as my brother who often got ordered out of our shared play area would agree. When I thought I had a good idea about something, I didn't like being told no, which is how my great aunt and I ended up in each other's faces. Both of us hugged and yelling, "How could you be mad at me for wanting to learn a new song? You're not ready for it. That's not how you learn piano." "But I am ready. I just played it." "That's not how it's done." "But why?" Piano lessons become dramatic and trying largely due to my refusal to follow Roby's method and Roby's refusal refusal to see anything good in my freewheeling approach to her songbook. We went back and forth week after week as I remember it. I was stubborn, and so was she. I had a point of view, and she did too. In between disputes, I continued to play the piano, and she continued to listen, offering a stream of corrections. I gave her a little credit for my improvement as a player. She gave me a little credit for improving, but still the lessons went on. Upstairs, my parents and Craig found it all so very funny. They cracked up at the dinner table as I recounted my battles with Robbie, still seething as I ate my spaghetti and meatballs. Craig, for his part, had no issues with Robbie being a cheerful kid who followed her rules as a piano student. My parents expressed no sympathy for my woes, and none for Roby's either. In general, they weren't ones to get involved in matters outside in schooling, expecting early on that my brother and I should handle our own business. They seemed to view their jobs as mostly to listen and bolster use as needed inside the four walls of our home, and where another parent might have scolded a kid for being sassy with an elder as I had been, they also let that be. My mom had lived with Roby on and off since she was about 16, following every old fashioned rule the woman laid down, and it's possible she was great secretly happy to see Roby's authority challenged. Looking back on it now, I think my parents appreciated my feistiness, and I'm glad for it. It was a flame inside me they wanted to keep lit. Once a year, Roby held a fancy recital so that her students could perform for a live audience. To this day, I'm not sure how she managed it, but she somehow got access to a practice hall at Roosevelt University in downtown Chicago, holding her recitals in a grand stone building on Michigan Avenue, right near where the Chicago Symphony Orchestra played. Just thinking about going there made me nervous. Our apartment on Euclid Avenue was about 9 miles south of Chicago Loop, which with its glittering skyscrapers and crowded sidewalks felt a world away to me. My family made trips into the heart of the city only a handful of times a year to visit the Art Institute or see a play. The four of us traveling like astronauts in a capsule of my dad's bunk.